Casting doubt on evidence in an East Austin police shooting. Good evening. I'm Robert Hadlock. Leslie Rohde has the night off. One day after a grand jury declined to indict Officer Leonardo Quintana in the shooting death of Nathaniel Sanders, the Sanders family wants a federal investigation into the shooting. KXAN's Shannon Wolfson is live at Austin Police Headquarters with tonight's top story.
Robert, the Sanders family filed a formal complaint with the Justice Department today, asking federal investigators to once again turn their focus to the Austin Police Department's use of force, specifically to Officer Quintana's actions leading up to the shooting of Nathaniel Sanders. Wake up. It is the first thing Officer Leonardo Quintana says to Nate Sanders.
You do not hear Officer Quintana say, "Wake up, police. Wake up, APD." Officer Quintana never identified himself that night.
Sanders family attorney Adam Loewy says the audio proves Sanders was asleep when Quintana first approached the car and, in fact, slapped Sanders to try to wake him up.
You hear Officer Quintana slapping Nate Sanders Jr. in an attempt to wake him up. After this occurs, seconds later, you hear him say hello. So it's wake up, slap, hello, very quickly.
DA Rosemary Lemberg says Sanders then woke up and reached for the gun in his waistband. He and Quintana struggled for the gun. All this in 4 seconds.
You have an officer who is running and shooting his gun as he is running. And keep in mind, it is going to be undisputed that 7 seconds before, Nate Sanders was asleep.
Another passenger in the car jumps out and is shot by Quintana. Loewy cites Quintana's failure to identify himself as a police officer, failure to turn on his dashboard camera, and the evidence that shows Sanders was shot from behind the car and in the back of the head as reasons why the Justice Department should take a hard look at this case.
I believe this is one of the worst police shootings in the entire history of the city of Austin.
And there is a history. In fact, just last year, the Department of Justice completed a 4-year investigation into APD's use of force policies. It made more than 100 recommendations for changes in policy.
I believe the chief has a duty to this community to explain if it is proper for a police officer to be running away from a car, shooting a gun like he was in the Wild Wild West.
That explanation could come as soon as next week, when the department's administrative investigation will be complete. Now, the Sanders family has filed a civil lawsuit against the city and Officer Quintana. Chief Acevedo would not comment on Loewy's allegations, citing the ongoing administrative investigation. We're live at APD headquarters tonight. Shannon Wolfson, KXAN, Austin News.
Thanks, Shannon. Well, it's been a summer to forget around here if you hate the hot weather. Let's check in with Jim Spencer in the First Warning Weather Center.
It's one we'll remember for a long, long time, Robert. We're all really witnessing history this summer, and I hate to break this bit of news to you, but today is the beginning of the second half of our summer season, and it's been so much like all of this summer has been.